What is going on, everybody? It's your boy silvsian back at it again with another Pokemon YouTube video. It has been a hot minute, but let's dive straight into it. The Indigo Disc Pokemon leaks that dropped yesterday on the 24th of November 2023. Alright, so we are going to literally have everything you need to know about the Indigo Disc is in this video, okay? New Pokemon, new moves, returning Pokemon, returning moves, everything is in this. Like, without further ado, just know there are going to be a lot of spoilers, guys, okay? So, if you don't want to be spoiled, if you want to be surprised when this Indigo Disc drops on the 14th of December, just, like, click off this video, go watch something else. But if you want to actually like see everything that's going on in the Indigo Disc and you want to see all of the new Pokemon, all of the returning ones, so on, stay tuned. Like, we're going to get into it right now, okay? Also, Mareep is 100 times cuter with a bow. Alright, so starting off, this is just a paste bin link that I found on Twitter like 2 hours ago. So this is an employee for the Pokemon company, supposedly. Like, allegedly, they are saying that they are. They are English speaking, Spanish speaking, but mostly English. So they are going to be telling us everything we need to know about the Indigo Disc in this paste bin, and it's kind of long too. So just like bear with me. I'll try and get through it as fast as I can. Hoping for like 5 minutes max. But basically, right away, new Pokemon. Archaludon, Steel Dragon. It's going to be number 1018 in the Pokédex. The new Pokemon Hydrapple, which is going to be the evolution of Diplin, which is the third evolution of Applin. And it's going to be Bug Dragon, which I'm not too sure we have yet. I don't think we have a Bug Dragon yet. So that's kind of cool, actually, because, I mean, I think that's one of the last couple typings that we don't have. And it's going to be number 1019. And also the Hydrapple thingy, like Hydra, right, many heads. So maybe we're going to be seeing an Applin sort of Pokemon, like Diplin, right, except with just a ton of heads sticking out of it. Next one we know about, Raging Bolt. It was pictured, it's the really, really long-necked Raikou, or Raikou. It's going to be Electric and Dragon. And then I think that's a new one too, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, it might not be. I'm thinking there was a fossil Pokemon that was Electric Dragon. Anyways, it's going to be number 1020. Next one, Storming Ash. Obviously, we know what that's going to be. That is going to be the Entei, the Paradox Entei. We don't exactly know what it's going to look like yet, but we're probably going to see it pretty soon. It's going to be Fire Dragon, and number 1021. And we're going to be seeing Iron Crown as well. It's going to be Steel and Psychic. And that's going to be 1022, and 1023 is going to be Iron Tines, which is going to be Rock and Psychic. And Tines, if I'm not mistaken, are like a kind of tool. But it's like a prong, I think. It's a prong or sharp point, such as that on a fork or antler. So we're probably going to be seeing something like that with this Pokemon. And it's Rock and Psychic, so, I mean, it carries the same rock typing that Terrakion has. So, I mean, it's probably going to be somewhat decent. Next one that we're going to be seeing is Terapagos, which is going to be Rock and Normal, and number 1024 in the Pokédex. And this one's actually going to have two forms, okay? You're going to have Terapagos form that's going to be Rock and Dragon, and then it's going to have the Jewel type. So, from what I'm thinking, I think that your Terapagos Rock and Normal is going to look something like this little Pokemon here. This one's going to be Rock and Normal, okay? And then I think we're going to be transforming it maybe in battle or something. You can transform it into this Terapagos here, and that's going to turn into a Rock and Dragon type. And then it's going to undergo some sort of, I don't know, some sort of terastalization form where you terastalize it and then it turns into its jewel form. At least that's what I'm thinking. Another possibility too is that it just sticks in this form and then you can transform it by giving it like an item or something, and then it will turn into the Rock and Dragon type of this form, and then you can just terastalize it. All of a sudden it turns into this Pokemon here, and it's going to be the Jewel type. So that's going to be the Terapagos thing. And then 1025, it's everybody's favorite Pokemon, Dokumomo. It's going to be Poison and Ghost, and that, guys, is just the little Peach Boy thing. It's the Pokemon that people were thinking was going to be like on the chains and stuff of all of these Pokemon. And people think it's going to be looking something like this. It could look like this. I mean, it might not. It really doesn't matter what it looks like. I mean, we now know that it's going to be a thing. It probably is going to look like this, though, because it's going to be looking like the chains on the Loyal 3. As you can see here, the chains on the Loyal 3. It's going to be something along those lines. And it's going to be like an intoxication Pokemon, or a Pokemon that like takes over minds and stuff. So, I mean, it's going to be a Pokemon. So that's Dokumomo, a Poison Ghost type. It's going to be the last Pokédex entry for this game. I'm not too certain they're going to be releasing any more DLC for this game. I know people are saying they're going to, but I doubt they will. And so it's going to be 1025. And then stats and abilities of all of these Pokemon are included at the end of this paste bin. Alright, so next, Koraidon, Miraidon, they're each going to have a Terastal state, just like Riddler Ku said, but instead of just being the single Jewel type like Terapagos, instead they're going to also carry a Flying type for Koraidon and a Steel type for Miraidon, and that's the Terastal state, and it's going to be a reference back to their names. Koraidon's, which is who has the Paradox name Winged King, so flying, obviously. Miraidon is gonna, which Paradox name is Iron Serpent, is gonna have the Steel typing. So I mean, it makes complete sense. And they're carrying their original abilities. At least that's what this person says. Allegedly they will. Okay, 19th Tera Type time, and this one actually makes sense to me because it like all of the other leaks, all the other speculations that people have been thinking of so far actually like coalesce and like coagulate into one thing, right? And that's this. This makes complete sense. It connects everything. So the 19th Tera Type, it's important, they say, certain moves rely on it, and the localized name is Jewel type. So the Jewel Tera Type is a typeless type that is only weak to and strong against Jewel. And terastalizing into it will boost everything else. The exact value is not known. And Jewel types will also gain stab. And as of right now, the only Jewel type move that they have right now is going to be the Jewel Burst, obviously, and then the Terra Blast that's going to be like transforming into the Jewel type because it's like the Tera type. So those are the only things that we know right now on the Jewel type, but that's like everything you need to know. Nothing is weak to it and nothing strong against it except for Jewel typing. So it's like Gen 1 Dragon type, where Dragon was only super effective against Dragon, except instead of like Dragon actually being a damaging move, the only one known was like Dragon Rage, blah blah blah. But like it's the only thing that's strong against like Dragon, right? So moving on. So 28 TMs are also going to be on here as well, and several cut moves are going to be returning in the DLC. 2 of them became TMs again. So we've got 202 is Curse, 203 is Pursuit, 204 is Parting Shot, Mystical Fire, Life Dew, Snap Trap, Feint, Skydrop, Roost, Breaking Swipe, Spirit Break, Strength Sap, Ally Switch, Terrain Pulse, Rising Voltage, Skitter Smack, Corrosive Gas, Coaching, Triple Axle, Scorching Sands, Expanding Force. I do in fact remember that one, and Triple Axle. Those ones are going to be pretty powerful. Oh, Meteor Beam's here too. Steamroller, Meteor Beam, Love Bite, Upper Hand, Psychic Noise, Supercharged Cell, and Hard Press. Okay, so these last 4, or these last 5 are new moves that we don't know anything about. Hard press, I almost thought was body press for a second, but they're different. So they say, honestly speaking, some of them have pretty limited distributions. Think Scald, with its distribution being slashed despite being a TM. Unlike the move data, I will not be including in-depth learn sets for these TMs or every move Pokemon get through relearning or breeding now. There are over 700 Pokemon in this game, and I haven't looked at everything myself. Alright, again, like, take everything with a grain of salt, because this stuff might not be accurate. Anyways, now for the abilities. There are only 4 new ones, and 3 of them belong to Terapagos, which makes sense because there's going to be 3 forms of Terapagos. Okay, number 1, Toxic Influence, is going to be Hydrapple's signature ability, granting it the poison type permanently. Okay. So Hydrapple's actually going to have 3 abilities then. So the Toxic Influence gives it the poison type. So Hydrapple's actually going to be 3 types. Hydrapple is going to be Poison, Bug, and Dragon. So it's going to be technically the first 3-type Pokemon. Although, I mean, yeah, not counting like any of the weird stuff they might have Terapagos do. Or Terastalization. Okay, Terastal Crystal, one of Terapagos' abilities. This one can't be nullified by neutralizing gas, can't be overwritten, and can't be copied or taken. It makes base Terapagos transform, but it doesn't take your 1 Terastalization slot. The exact requirement needed, or if it's just doable as soon as it enters battle, is unknown. Okay, so this is going to be the transformation from what I'm assuming is going to be the base turtle, the little turtle, into the big turtle. And this one's going to change its typing from rock normal to rock dragon, at least that's what I think. The other one is elemental shell, another one of his abilities, or their abilities. This one adds a type to its existing typing randomly at the end of each turn, replacing the last. Okay, so this one adds a type to its existing typing randomly at the end of each turn. So at the end of each turn, you're going to be gaining another ability, or gaining another type, which is kind of wild. So this form of Terapagos is going to be a 3-type Pokemon after its first turn with this ability. So this Terapagos is actually going to be a 3-type Pokemon, just like Hydrapple, which is kind of wild that three types is now a thing, but I mean, it's kind of interesting. So the next one, or the last one, is going to be Type Shield, and this ability is for the Pokemon that exists now for sure. Wait, what? This ability is for a Pokemon that exists now for sure. It makes Terapagos take 3/4 damage from any type. The third is probably the Terastal form Terapagos. Meanwhile, the second to last is likely for the 3rd form. Oh, that makes so much more sense. Okay. So, Type Shield is for Baby Turtle. You take 25% less damage from any type. So, any move, you're taking 75% of that damage. You transform your little turtle into Big Turtle. You get Terastal Crystal. And now, this one, base Terapagos transforms, and then it like is now able to transform into your next Terapagos form, which gets Elemental Shell, and you gain a type randomly at the end of each of your turns. That makes a lot more sense. Okay, so 3 abilities for Terapagos for the 3 forms. Base form gets Type Shield, second gets Terastal Crystal, which allows it to get the Elemental Shell. So, in reality, there's really only 2 new abilities, because Terastal Crystal is kind of just like an in-between between the 2 forms. Or between the 3 forms. And the name of the 3rd form is supposedly, allegedly, Terragenesis, which achieves this form by terastalizing. But like, it seems like it's going to be able to terastalize 2 times. So, I don't know how that's going to go, but it's going to. Now, the alternate forms of Terapagos have base stat increases, which Ogerpon and the 2 dragons don't, is to what they said. Alright, So anything new from this update isn't going to be allowed in Regulation E, except moves learned through relearning or breeding for already legal Pokemon. Okay, here is the confirmed list, or at least the alleged list. I think John Plays has a video out right now, and his video is going to look a lot better than mine. So if you want to go watch that if you want to see the returning Pokemon. Alright, we know nothing about new items other than 2 held items for Koraidon and Miraidon that boosts their stats other than HP. Each one terastalized. They are refined from 2 ores into the Scarlet Crown and Violet Core. Like with other technical information here, the exact values are unknown. I'm guessing it's 1.3 like usual for paradoxes. Blah blah blah, it's a massive increase, so it might be and probably should be lower. They apparently heard through a grapevine that there is a mystery box that is apparently for evolving Meltan into Melmetal. They have no idea if it's true. Okay, if that's the case, guys, we might be getting more of these Pokemon natively than we originally thought. I'm not opposed to it because I really want to catch a Genesect and Victini in my Pokemon games. Alright, last thing they will say before getting into stats and moves. They don't usually get to see what the Pokemon themselves look like, but along with that big reveal trailer at Worlds, they were supposed to also reveal Hydrapple, since anyway people would find out that Dipplin evolves. I will try to draw it to the best of my ability before posting. So there's probably going to be a picture of it. Okay, new Pokemon stats. Archaludon, it's going to have a decently high attack stat, even higher special attack. Holy cow. Stamina, sturdy, stalwart. Okay, guys, just so you know, I used to do competitive Pokemon, but not too much anymore. So, like, I don't quite understand all of the stats and stuff thingies, like the rankings anymore. But all I can say is that 125 is a very, very, very high special attack. Not that high, but, like, still, like, competitively high. It's got pretty bad speed, but, I mean, it's Archaludon. And it's got a stamina, sturdy, stalwart for its abilities. Alright, Hydrapple, Toxic Influence, Liquid Ooze, and Sticky Hold. 95 HP, 115 attack, 125 defense. Special attack's pretty good too, even lower speed. Raging Bolt. It's got okay stats, it's got a pretty high HP stat. Storming Ash. It's got a really good attack stat and special attack stat. Defensive leaves to be desired. Speed is okay-ish. Iron Crown's pretty fast too, and Iron Tines actually has the same speed as it. Yeah, other than that, Iron Tine's attack is pretty good, and Iron Crown's special attack is pretty good. Terapagos, normal form, its things suck. It's obviously a D. Holy cow, 25 defense and 5 special defense. Yeah, its ability where it takes 75% damage isn't gonna be too helpful here. It does have an extremely high HP stat though. Oh, maybe it's not, because 255 is Blissey's right here. So I mean, maybe it's okay. Maybe it's not as high as I thought. Okay, so Terapagos Terastal form. The Type Shield 1. It's gonna be having 150, 125, 135, 125, 155. So pretty good. And then the full form Terapagos is gonna have insane stats. 150, 150, 175, 150, 135, and 0. And 30, sorry. 0 speed, it never moves. Dokumomo, honestly, its stats are pretty average, actually. It has 88 for its speed and its HP, but like, I was honestly expecting more. I mean, it's gonna be a legendary though, because it has a base stat total of 600, but new move information. Electro Shot. Type electric, category special. User charges energy and boosts its special attack stat on the first turn. It fires an electric blast on the next one. These are the Pokemon it goes to: Alolan Golem, Magnezone, Zekrom, Genesect, Charjabug, Vikavolt, Archaludon, and Iron Tines. Hard Press is a steel move. More HP the target has left, greater the move's power, and is for all of these Pokemon. Whoa, that's so many. Next one is going to be Hold Still. It's going to do 30 damage, and the user attacks first to suppress the target and make it go last. So it's like Quash, except it also does damage. And it also traps it in the process. It only works on the first turn each time the user enters the battle. Okay, so it's a pretty good move, and there's a pretty good distribution of it. Single strike style Urshifu, that's a pretty good move for it. And then Grimmsnarl, that's also going to be a good one too. Rillaboom and Incineroar might use it too. Okie dokie, that's going to be a good move for it. And then Intoxicate is going to have a 95 power, 90 accuracy. It's going to be a ghost type. User inflicts a strange toxin onto opposing Pokemon, dealing super effective damage against fairy types. Also may leave them confused, and it's only for Dokumomo. Like I said before, it's gonna be its signature move. Jewel Burst, Terapagos' signature move. 100 base power, 90% accurate. Shoots broken shell shards towards Pokemon. Attack always deals super effective damage. Okay, so it actually is a 200 base power move. Next one's going to be Love Bite. It's going to be for a lot of Pokemon. Does more damage if the target is an opposite gender to the user. So that's actually a gender move then. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be Fairy type, 60 base power, 100% accurate. That's crazy. Okay. Next one's going to be Psychic Noise. It's going to deal 85 base power and 95% accurate. Telepathically tortures the target with auditory hallucinations. Okay. This prevents the usage of any move abilities or held items that recover HP. Okay, that's a really good move if it's on anybody good. Monkey Dory, Fluttermane. Okay. Fluttermane's the one that uses it, or that's in a lot of competitive teams, so I wonder if people are going to be using that. Supercharged Cell. The user charges energy on the first turn, then boosts all its stats on the next one. That's wild. Okay, does anybody good get it though? Vikavolt, Zekrom, Reshiram, Rotom, Magnezone, Metagross. Electrodes, not really anybody that actually like does stuff though. Tachyon Cutter, Iron Crown, Sig move. 40 base power, 100% accurate. Hits twice in a row, so technically 80 base power. Yeah, I don't know why this dog is barking so much, guys. Next one's going to be Tasing Crash. It's going to have a base power of 100, and it's going to be Rock type. User rams into the target with charged horns. Also, so it's like a super powered takedown, ends for Iron Tines. Next one's going to be Tephra Storm. This is for Storming Ash, so our little Entei boy. This one, user erupts, causing a cloud of ash to rain down on the opposing Pokemon. This may also leave them with a burn. Next, Terra Blast, Jewel type, 80%, or 80 base power, 100% accurate. User unleashes the energy of all 18 types. Move inflicts typeless damage using the attack or special attack, whichever is higher. Naturally, no Pokemon learns this. Terra Luminescence, Jewel type, special, 160 base power, 90% accurate. The user gleams with the splendor of every type, dealing super effective damage against any target. User can't move on the next turn. Terapagos. Okay, that's a pretty powerful move. I know how I'm beating the Elite Four now, right? Thunderclap, Electric. This is for Raging Bolt, 80 base power, 100% accurate. This is gonna be another one. Attacks first with a Lightning Bolt. Move fails if the target is not readying an attack. So obviously Thunderclap's an Electric Sucker Punch. Upper Hand. User attacks first. This is going to be a flinching. This is going to be a flinching Sucker Punch that does less damage. And we've got Primeape, Hisuian, Arcanine, Hariyama. Does Iron Hands get this? Iron Hands does not in fact get this, but Urshifu does. And Blood Moon Ursaluna does. Annihilate does. Fezandipiti does. Incineroar does. So there's a pretty good distribution of them. And then move of Hydrapple is Venom Hurl, Poison, special, 80 base power, 80% accurate. Hurls Sticky Sludge, which coats the target and traps it. Always leaves the target badly poisoned. Pair this with the Sticky Syrup move that lowers the base speed for 3 turns. Like, this Pokemon is going to be a menace. Yeah, and that's all of it. That's everything that they've covered. Yeah, so guys, if you enjoyed this video and you like this content, guys, make sure to leave a thumbs up. Let me know if you guys bought the DLC. Obviously, like, I bought it. And then let me know if you guys are excited for it. and what your guys' speculations are. Like, if you don't think some of this is right, like, let me know down in the comments what you guys are thinking.